of interest for men as well as for women. So, this is something that we've talked to our kids about too. It's something that I think is interesting but super simple, and this is just a really easy way to remember it. So, for men, they are not born with any of their M's. It's something they're gonna have to go get on their own. And for men, the M's that make them successful in life, that make them feel good in life, that make them feel really useful and satisfied are money. I guess some could be born with money, but for the most part, they're gonna have to get out there and get their own money. Muscles, yeah, some are born with more than others, but at a certain age, it becomes the fact of, do you take care of that? Do you foster that? Do you make sure those muscles are coming? And masculinity. They may or may not be born with certain levels. It gets programmed very quickly by very young ages what that's going to look like for a certain individual. But of course, they can cultivate and foster that masculinity growing. But if they can hit 3 for 3, I mean, the success possibilities are endless. If you look at the most successful people out there, think of celebrities, athletes, things like that. Most seem to hit 2 out of 3 and maybe lack a third. If they could get that third, think about someone. I don't want to drop any particulars, but think about someone who maybe has a lot of money and a lot of masculinity, but they're missing out on the muscles aspect. They don't take care of themselves. They could level up so much if they got that missing element. Or what about the super masculine guy who's super muscular, but he has no money? He's still missing out on areas of his life, regardless of what it looks like. If they have 1 or 2, they may be living and surviving, but if they can get 3 out of 3, they tend to be happy guys, really doing a lot. They tend to be very attractive to females, to women. So if they hit those 3, it's game over. They've got the 3 things they need. They've got the money, they've got the muscles, and they've got the masculinity. So that's a winning combo for guys. For girls, there may be some great M's, but really what came to mind was the M's not to do. Not to do in particular for your man. Those 3 M's are mothering, don't mother him, martyring, don't do the most and throw yourself under the bus at his mercy, and don't manage him. Even if you are all of those things in other capacities, that is totally great. Be those things. Those are awesome things to be. But they're not awesome things to be with or for your man. He already has a mother, so he does not want you to be his mother. Side note, men, animals, etc., don't want to sleep with their mothers, their aunties, etc. By nature, they are not wired to want to sleep with those people. So if this is your husband, your boyfriend, etc., hello there. Mothering him is not the way to get to the relationship that you're wanting or stay in the relationship that you're wanting. It's going to suck all the life, all the polarity, all of that right out of the relationship. Oh no, no Spanish, sorry. Only to order food, tacos, tequila. But yeah, no Spanish other than that. Sorry. Don't have the skill set. Wish I did. So if you are mothering your man, it is a recipe for disaster. Same thing with managing. You may be a manager in all areas of life. You may be a boss, corporate babe for sure. I love fajitas, steak fajitas for sure. Yeah, all the foods. Okay, I like the foods. I can order the food. I've been to Mexico and different places several times and had to give them my crappy Spanish, but it's very bad. Very, very bad. For real. So for women, the management, you may be like climbing the corporate ladder. You may be a straight boss at work. However, don't bring the management energy home. I 100% can tell you from experience that your man does not like it. They don't need it. They don't want it. They want to be in control. Whether they are a manager at work or they are not, they certainly did not want to be in a relationship with you so that you could manage them, tell them what to do, what to wear, how to be. Matter of fact, unless they ask for your advice, I always say just don't give it. Men tend to ask other men for advice because that's the opinion they want. If they want your opinion, they will ask for it, but you don't ever have to volunteer that. If they tell you a problem, They're not telling you the problem so that you can solve it for them, manage it for them, etc. Even though sometimes the feminine energy way would be the best answer, that's not usually what they are after at all. The other one is just the martyring, like the doing too much, like wearing yourself out, whether it's around the house, like all the household stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, just neglecting yourself to take care of him. He may like that for a moment. Like, men are naturally selfish creatures. They're like, ooh, okay, oh, hi, girl. How are you? So men are naturally selfish creatures, nothing wrong with it. They're just programmed that they want life to be easy and simple. So if you're there making life easy and simple, they're going to like that for a minute, but they're also going to get very bored by that because, again, it's going to give the vibes of mom or auntie, and they may love their mom and auntie, but that's not who they want to sleep with. That's not where the polarity, the sweet spot of relationships live. So if you are martyring yourself, you're actually just showing him how to treat you. Hello there. If he sees that you are doing a ton for him, it's not going to make him think, oh, wow, she's doing so much for me. She's so awesome. No, it's actually the opposite. It makes them think, oh, wow, she's doing so much for me because I'm so awesome. It doesn't have the effect that a lot of people assume that it will. If you do the same thing for a woman, say your mom, or not even a close relationship, a female friend, if you do the most for them and you really come in and provide some service to them, they have the natural inclination, like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. Let me return the favor. Let me give them something back. That's normal. Men are not wired that way. They are receiving mode as far as it will take them. Like, oh, cool, they're doing all the laundry, they're cooking, they're paying for stuff, they're doing this and that. I deserve that, I guess. I mean, if they're doing it and I didn't ask them to, then cool, I deserve that. And it just completely unravels life so quickly. So for the people that just jumped on the 3 M's for men to have that like super successful life where they're feeling really good about themselves and kind of reaching across all the categories where they want to reach, are things that they are not born with. It's not an innate thing for them. They usually have to go get it on their own. And that is the money, the muscles, and the masculinity. They have to learn those things, or even if they come in with a little level of them, they have to keep mastering that and working on that, cultivating it to really make it into something great where they are feeling really well and feeling like they have a purpose that they are reaching and they're working towards something more and building up those areas. Those tend to be, if you can find the 3 for 3, really good partners because they're not coming in with some sort of lack. Like, okay, I better get a girl so she can pay half the rent. No, they've got their money together. They don't need you for anything with money. Masculinity, they are not in their feminine energy. They are in their masculine energy. They are in provider mode. They are ready to go. They're looking for that opposite. They're looking for the piece they need. They don't want another masculine person. If they're masculine, think about the physicality of that. Masculine, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, think about how it's designed to work. So they need the feminine counterpart. They need the opposite of them. That's where the polarity comes in, the happiness factor comes in. And then the muscles. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, he must have a 6-pack, anything like that, but some level of care for himself physically. Because even if he has all the money and masculinity in the world, if he's not caring for himself, he's still not going to feel his best. He's not going to be able to provide and enjoy life at the level that he possibly could, even if it came to procreation, things like that. You're wanting, as a woman, you're wanting a father for your babies, and you want a healthy one. You want one who is going to be around for a very long time to protect you guys and provide for you for a long time. So if he's 350 pounds, you're probably not going to feel as safe as if he were 200 pounds, whatever the number looks like. Obviously, different heights, builds, all the things, but those 3 core ingredients of the money, the muscles, and the masculinity tend to make a man very happy in himself, which makes him a very good option for a mate. As far as the women, the 3 M's are not the have this, have this, have this. There's tons of M words, so I'm sure that there is something out there. But for women to be happier, happier, it's really about the do not M's. Do not specifically with your man. Mothering, great. Be a mom. That's one of the best gifts in the world. Mothering is amazing, but mothering your man is a different story. Mother your children. Be so nurturing, so helpful. Do the most. Protect them. Check in on them. Have fun with them. Plan things for them. Do all those things. Those are good behaviors for the right target, which is your children, not your man, not your husband, your boyfriend, whoever. Your guy does not appreciate or want those behaviors. Same with the managing. Even if you are boss babe at work, keep it at work. It is not for home. He does not want to be managed. He does not want to be told when to take his vitamins or any of those things. It's a total turn off, especially for men, because if they do have those other factors, the money, the masculinity, and the muscles, they're like, hello, like, I've been running my life until you. Like, do you think I'm not capable of running it now? Like, why are you telling me these things? So playing secretary or doctor or all of these little roles that we tend to want to jump into is actually not helpful whatsoever. The less you can manage him, the more you can let him have his freedom and do his thing, the better. And then the last one on there was the martyring, just the doing too much, because it's teaching him how you are cool with being treated. That, hey, like, she doesn't care if she works a shift and then comes home and makes my dinner and does laundry and does all these 1,000 things while I am chilling on the couch. That just means I'm super important and I deserve that treatment. And that just means she's not very important and doesn't deserve that treatment. So it doesn't, even though it seems sweet and caring, it's actually backfiring. Great question, Christy. She said, how have you learned to shut off boss babe when you get home? I think just having a transition period is the key there. Not going like straight from work to on the phone with her texting or whatever. And man, to have that transition period, even if it's just a drive home, just literally like in your mind taking off, this is the work hat, comes off. And I am a huge proponent of leave work at work. Like, I do not stress about work stuff at home. Like, if it's not handled in my shift time, it's getting handled in the morning. Believe that. It's not something that I bring home with me. I don't really talk about work very much, especially if it is about a position or anything like that. Like, I do know in a past relationship, when I first went from just individual contributor to management, it was really rough because literally I was top dog. So all day long, I was pointing, you do this, you do that. I was delegating life and without any pushback, without questioning anything like that. So that just became my new normal. Like, I tell people what to do and they do it, period. Well, that did not work when I brought that home and he's like, hello, like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, I'm your man. I am not one of your little employees. Like, don't talk to me like that, with tone, with just attitude in general, that like, I'm the boss, you do what I say. That was a big thing for me to work through. And now it's no big deal because I learned how to take off the manager hat, leave it at work. Leave it where you actually are the manager. Men do not want to feel managed, period. And if they do, it's actually a bad sign, because if they like that manager feeling, then again, it's going to put you in those other roles too. The mommy role, the tell me what to do, help me role, super feminine role that you're probably not going to be very attracted to. There's like 2% of the population who are like reverse chemistry, where a female actually feels good in the masculine and a man actually feels good in the feminine, versus a woman feeling best in her feminine and a man feeling best in his masculine. It's only 2% of the population. So most people, even if it feels good for a moment, like a man, like, oh, I get a break, she's gonna figure all this out, she's gonna carry the load, she's got this. It may feel good for a moment, but over time he's not gonna feel like a man anymore, and the attraction goes down, polarity goes down. It's all a mess. Same with the female, like, oh, cool, like, I get to decide, I get to run the show. And it's like, I'm tired of running the show. I'm not built to run the show. So very temporary fixes, but overall, not a good place to be in. The live is about some important M's of life that I feel like some wisdom and experiences kind of figured out. It's something that we've talked to the kids about and things like that too. So men essentially are not born, well, they may be born with a little bit, but they're not born with like the full set of the things that they need to be happy, which overall is money. They need to be making their own money, even if they are, billionaire's son, whatever. They need to be earning and making their own money to feel really good, productive, provider, energy, muscles. Not to say they gotta have a six pack to be happy, but no, they have to be working on their health and be able to physically protect, whether it's wife, children, whatever, to protect those around him, to feel really good about themselves as a man. And then masculinity, just the masculine energy, having that bravado, having that sense that I'm free, I'm capable, I'm confident to do whatever it is, whether it's at home, at work, and in between. So those are the three M's for men. And then for women, some M's in no particular order are just the do not manage, do not mother, and do not mortar, because any of those things in a relationship with your man are not positive, even if they're positive outside of that. Managing at work, great, that's the place for it. Not with your guy. Mothering, amazing, mother your children, mother the crap out of your children, but do not mother your man. And then mortaring, like giving yourself up for someone else, yes, sweet concept, it can be great. There are instances where it's excellent, but there are also a lot of instances, especially in relationships, where it backfires and is such a total waste of your time. So let's see. Oh, hi, Vanessa. How are you? Yes, no, I thought that was an interesting statistic too. Like only 2% of the population. I think that if there were some study on everyone in relationships right now, like what they are, I do think that feminine men definitely on the rise, and masculine women is certainly on the rise. Like working in a corporate environment, I can tell you that for sure. There are a lot of very masculine women, and there are those parts inside of all of us for sure. Like women have a little bit of masculinity, that go mode, do mode. We need that, of course, to power through things, whether it's school, you're powering through a report, or work, you're powering through a project that has a super short deadline. Sometimes even like at home, like, okay, I've got this crazy list. Sometimes you have to use that like push mode, the masculinity, to get through it. But overall, women feel so much better in their feminine flow, just being able to relax, enjoy, go with feeling and not doing, with being instead of doing, definitely feels just so much better. But a lot of the people have just been raised to the complete and total opposite, because all the boss babe and boss bitch, all of that, if you look at it, is telling women to be in their masculine mode, to hustle, to grind. It's not saying like be soft and be gentle and be natural to yourself. It's saying push beyond yourself. And you can get results like that. Like the numbers don't lie on that either. If women get into their masculinity and are good at their masculinity, they can make things happen just like a man. They can rise the corporate ladder. They can do all of those things. But it comes at a cost, with your hormones, with burnout, with your life energy. All of that gets sucked out. For a woman, if you go too hard and go too hard into your masculine, like it takes a toll. Your creativity dies. A lot of the most beautiful parts of you are completely sucked in and playing a role that you were not designed to play. Can you? Of course. Do you want to? No. Like the payment on your hormones, burnout, like there's so many things, adrenal fatigue, all the things, diseases, especially autoimmune diseases, all kinds of things. Ooh, when's kiss? Yes, single mom life definitely, definitely shows a perfect example with school, jobs, everything, masculine energy. And then it also tends to raise a lot of men to be more feminine, because they haven't seen that masculine role model. Like generations, probably 50 years plus back, saw their dad go cut wood and fish and kill things and do whatever. So some of the masculine activities, but also just the masculine behavior, like we provide, we feed our family, we work really hard, we do whatever we have to do to make things happen. That mindset was not passed down because they didn't have dad there. They may have seen, hopefully, if they're lucky, other family members, uncles, grandpa, someone to teach them that, but they did not see it on an everyday basis. They saw masculinity in the form of their mom. Most of the time, mom's providing. Mom's doing all the things. Mom is also doing the domestic stuff most of the time, if possible. But a lot of those kids were also thrown in the bucket of latchkey kids, where mom has two jobs and school and whatever. So get home, don't go outside, like be inside before dark. Here's your microwave dinner, or make yourself something, that type of thing. So the family unit overall functions so much better with the traditional roles. And you can argue with me all day. I do not care. I will talk until the cows come home. There was a lot more stability when those roles were the normal, when there were two-parent households, married parents that were committed to the same common goal of raising children, things like that. Were there problems? Of course there were problems. There were still some of the problems that haunt society today. Those things are not new. There's nothing new under the sun. But that was definitely the design from Jump Street, has not changed. Even that design, a lot of people started pushing back on some of the biblical principles, like, well, why doesn't God want me to do this or that? All of those things were for protection, and so was that initial family model. They're for your protection. Why aren't you having premarital sex? For your protection, because you don't want a baby with someone you don't know, or you don't know if they can or will provide for you and that baby forever after. Or if you are putting yourself in a really, really bad situation where now you're going to have to go twice as hard for the next 18 years to take care of that baby by yourself. So lots of ins and outs, lots of crazies. Hopefully some of the M's were helpful for you guys, but I just wanted to jump on because I was kind of thinking about those and thought I would think out loud. Women process through talking, men process through thinking and solidarity all by themselves in their little man cave. But here I am on YouTube Live processing out loud. But thank you guys. Have an awesome night, and I will see you soon.